Welcome to Attainable Green. I'm Jess, and today I want to share with you how I keep track of my orchid collection. This is about my 4th year growing orchids, and it's about the 2nd year that I'm keeping track of them. Last year, I set up a notebook to make sure that I can keep track of my orchids, and honestly, I didn't do very well. This year, I'm trying to be more organized, and so I want to keep track of my orchids in a better way. Instead of doing it on the computer, I'm doing it the analog way. Basically, a notebook. I'm going to share with you how I set up this notebook so that I can keep better records of my plants. So let's begin. For the first page, I wrote down my entire orchid collection. I wrote the names of all of the plants, and I subdivided it according to a category that I would remember, either by a location or by the type of plant that I have. Now this part can be pretty daunting if you have a huge collection, but for me it's not so bad. It also helps me realize how much I buy in one year, and it's kind of scary. Basically, I tripled my collection in 1 year. I went from 33 orchids to about 90 or 100 if you count my flasks. So that big jump means I have a lot of learning to do this year, and I should probably slow down on purchasing any new plants until I get acquainted with the ones I already have. I also added a wishlist section, and I know that this one will probably grow and change, so I'm not too worried about how it looks right now. As you can see, I've already made some changes as to what I want for it this year. So this spread is my watering schedule. I wrote down the numbers across the top, which correspond to the week of the year. And down the side, I wrote down the days of the week. This is a grid to track my watering schedule. So for the first week, I watered on Wednesday and Thursday. And I watered half of my collection on Wednesday and the other half on Thursday. For the second week, I actually watered all of my plants on Wednesday. That way I can see visually what I actually watered and the frequency of my waterings. I'm sure as I fill it out, you'll see it probably will increase the frequency during the springtime and summertime, and then decrease in the fall and winter. I also have listed the blooms with a date attached to it. That way I know when these plants have flowered and how long they lasted. On the other side of the page, I have a repot section. So I wrote down the plants that I have repotted and the date in which I repotted them. That way it also keeps track of what I did for the year. I'm sure I'm going to change this list as I am using it, but for now this seems to work for me. I've also added a monthly spread. So for January, I'm keeping track of the blooms, the spikes, the new growths, and any repots or problems. And I also have a note section for anything I want to keep track of. Not only does this page provide an overview of what happened during the month, it also helps me keep track, so if I make videos, I know what plants to include and I'm not missing anything out. Putting everything on a monthly spread like this definitely helps me see the overall picture of how my plants are doing per month. Instead of looking at each individual plant and tracking its growth, I'm looking at it as the collection as a whole. Anything that's singled out in the repots or problem section, I can easily isolate. And then over time, I can determine which plants have really struggled and which plants are thriving. That's my monthly spread, and that's how I keep track of my orchid collection. What do you do to keep track of your orchids? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this kind of video, please let me know, and I'll try to do a monthly update on my planner and how my orchids are doing in this kind of setup. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Attainable Green, for all the latest updates. And hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Bye!